It is Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. This is another edition of Baseball Today. That is not my man, Trevor Plouffe. That is my girl, Swilly. I am Chris Rose. Producer Dan along for the ride as well. It is good to have you back. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. I'm busy. It's middle of June. Things are in full swing baseball wise. All-Stars coming up. So, can't complain. And the weather's great in the city right now.
Oh, is it? It's not like sweltering humidity and stuff like that?
This weekend, it was so hot and so humid, but
Yeah.
the last 2 days, it's been like high 70s. It's been lovely.
By the way, did I interrupt your gaming? Because right now you're going double microphone on us. You've got the
Yes,
regular microphone, then you've got the headset. You're in our gaming room, I guess, right?
I am. Yes, I'm in our gaming room. Busy day at the office today. We got Justin Pennick doing some JM football trivia, and then we got
Okay.
talking baseball 2 doors down. So
Oh, okay.
busy
All right.
day.
All
Yeah,
right. Well, I'm happy that they could make some space for us today.
me
Isn't
too.
that nice?
Me too.
All right. Well, I always love having you on. You always give us a great perspective. I am wearing a Halos hat
Yeah, you
for
are.
several reasons today, which we
Mhm.
will get to momentarily. But we start off
Yes.
usually with our tip of the cap. And based on where this goes, usually in a baseball game, it should be almost like 2/3 of the way through, maybe even a little further down the show, because it deals with the seventh inning stretch. But this was so good that we have to give it a tip of the cap.
I don't care if I ever go back. Root for the Phillies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
What a crooner. That's awesome.
All right. So that is a man named Greg Fernese.
Mhm.
He is part of the Phillies broadcast team. He runs their left field camera.
Mhm.
So they were like, why don't you go do this? Obviously, he can croon a little bit.
That's right.
What sort of grade do you give him?
Oh my gosh. I mean, to be able to just come out and have a voice like that and then go in front of a crowd of probably 35,000, 40,000 people and sing that song, I got to give him an A. I don't
Mhm.
know. That's pretty impressive. I love when people just have a voice, you know?
Oh, he sold it. He
Yeah.
sold it too. It wasn't you can't do that and half-ass it. You've got to
Right.
go full blast. He stepped on the accelerator. He did a great job. I have had the good fortune of singing the seventh inning stretch at Wrigley Field.
Love that.
And so it is like you look down and everybody's focused on you. It's
Right.
pretty intimidating.
Yeah,
But
I cannot imagine. And also, camera operators don't get enough love. So I think
true.
it's really cool that they highlighted him just in
Greg,
general. So loved it.
tip of the cap. Well done to you. All
Yes.
right, let's get to it. Kind of a rough season for the defending American League champions, but it was a great Tuesday at Fenway Park for them. Dylan Cease, yet another gem. And by George, I think he got it.
Springer hits it a long way to left, and it's gone! Career home run number 300 for George Springer.
It means a lot. I think it's a long time. You just got to keep grinding. You have to have a lot of work every year. It's an awesome experience.
How would you describe his run?
I mean, first of all, yeah, I think he got that ball. What do you think?
Yeah, particularly in Fenway Park, when you nail one, yeah, you just get to sit there and look at it.
It's incredible. He smacked that. I mean, for me, and I think a lot of people, when I think of George Springer and just who he is as a baseball player, clutch is the first word that comes to
Mhm.
mind. He is such a joy to watch when he is not on a team that you don't like and when he's not your enemy. I think it's so funny that now that he's a Blue Jay, I think more people have kind of warmed up to him a little bit ever since he's left the Astros. Maybe that's just a me thing. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, super clutch. Obviously, that's his 300th home run, 1,500 hits in his career, 1,000 runs, 42 career WAR. He's got all the accolades that this guy is clutch and tied for third all time in postseason home runs, which is pretty good. So
Yeah, only Manny Ramirez and his former Astros teammate, Jose Altuve, have more
right.
in the playoffs. He definitely has that gene. Like when the light shined brightest, he was at his best. And
Mhm.
I think that that's when we look back on his career. That's something you'll be able to say. An 880 OPS in the playoffs is no joke. When you are facing the best arms in the sport and you're going up there and smacking it with much more regularity than you are during your regular season career, that's something special. I would describe it as spectacularly inconsistent
Mm.
because we have seen it's almost like somebody's heart who gets shocked back into sinus rhythm. It
Sure.
is up and down all over the place. Just look at his last 3 years in Toronto,
Yeah.
right? In 2024, it was horrible. He wasn't even a
Yeah.
one WAR player
Mhm.
and OPS in the 600s. Last year, it's over 950, and he has a WAR, even though he was primarily a designated hitter, of 5, basically.
Yeah.
And this year, he's a negative WAR player, and he's back in the 600s in the OPS. During Houston, it was much more, one level. There were
Yeah.
some times where it dipped and sometimes it would get great. Um, so he's wonderfully talented. I've gotten to know George a little bit, and I like him. Now, you do get to the other part of this whole thing. When we discuss George Springer, how long does it take you to get to the yeah, but?
I mean, obviously, the farther away that we get from it, I think that you kind of, I don't want to say you forget about it, but I don't know. It's a tough conversation. I think that if you look past it, that one big glaring thing, I it's
Which
hard because, you bring it up and now I'm like, "Oh, you're right. He has that one blemish, but like the whole team has the one blemish and I don't know." And I'm sure like you said you've gotten to know him and he's a great guy. A lot of these guys are great people. So, it makes it a little tough to have any extreme conversations about like, you know, what his future after baseball might look like, I guess. But
So, as he was hitting his 300th homer, I was sitting
yeah.
watching baseball last night, and Josh, our oldest son,
Mhm.
is there doing some work, and Michelle's sitting there as well.
Mhm.
And I said, "Oh, well," I said, "Honey, when I say that," because she knows who George Springer is. She's
Mhm.
not the biggest baseball fan, but she knows enough to know him.
Fair.
I said, "What's the first thing that comes to mind when I say the name George Springer?" He goes, "2017 Astros." I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, okay. Well, so now that is I would say a below average baseball fan, meaning she's not sitting there. She's sitting there watching it because we all watch it every
Sure.
night, but it's not like the first thing she wants to do. But she definitely knows who the key players are. And when you mention that, so I mean, I am curious for like our community, which is
Yeah.
baseball heavy, how far down the list, because that's whether you want to or you don't,
Sure.
on a day where we're celebrating, that's what's going to pop into some people's brains.
Yeah, I think depending on the fan, maybe they have a different
That's it.
idea. I think for me, like, I don't know, my Angels weren't competing, obviously. So, like, it doesn't really bother me. But if you ask, like, a Yankee fan or something,
Hmm.
it's going to be pretty high up on the list, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Or
yeah.
a Dodger fan because he
Or-
was the World Series MVP when he hit 5 homers, including going clutch in Game 7 of that series back in Los Angeles.
Right.
There's one other thing that I will bring up, and I think it's really important.
Mhm.
George Springer has struggled with being a lifelong stutterer. And early in his career,
Mhm.
he didn't do a ton of interviews.
Mhm.
And then I believe he started getting correspondence from people, and a lot of young people who said, "Hey, we know that you stutter. You are an example to us." And then George started doing every interview he could because he knew that he was part of the face of this.
Mhm.
And it's something that he hasn't run from. It's something that he has gravitated toward. And I think if we're to really look at the complete being of people,
Right.
that's the real good side. I understand the negative side that came along with 2017 and that group down there in Houston, but I think there's a really, really good special side to George Springer. And that's something that I'll never forget. And I appreciate it that he
Yeah.
took that leadership role.
Yeah.
So,
I think I agree with you. That's very, that's very big to be able to be an example in that way. So yeah, I agree with you.
so George Springer, thumbs up. Congratulations on home run number 300. We'll see if you can get your Blue Jays back in this thing. I am curious where everybody sits on the George Springer spectrum, if you will. How far down the list do you get to before you think of 2017? What are the first few things you think of with him? We're community. We can share in the comments section. So go for it. That'd be great. All right. I'm going to get my T-Mobile read up here because I'm excited about it. Because today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at T-Mobile. Whether you're on the go or at the ballpark, T-Mobile is built to keep you connected wherever the game takes you. With America's best network, your phone is going to work, even in a crowded stadium. Now, anybody who's been to the big game knows the feeling. Your team, you get a walk-off, everybody's trying to text or post or send videos at exactly the same time, and suddenly your phone won't load anything. Or when you're trying to stream the game while you're on the move and the feed keeps buffering at the worst possible moment, you're shaking that thing going, will you work? Those are the moments that matter to real baseball fans, and a drop signal shouldn't be the reason that you miss any of them. Well, T-Mobile's network is built specifically to handle all of it. I'm talking about packed stadiums, big-time moments, no problem. Find out how baseball hits different with T-Mobile at T-Mobile.com/MLB. The fastest based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data of national speed score results for 2H 2025. The best based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All right. Here we go.
Here we go, Rosie. Here we go.
Two of the biggest names in the sport. They both took center stage on Tuesday.
There's a fly ball straight away center field. This one's a long way toward the wall, and it is gone. Mike Trout powers one to straightaway center field. It's his second homer in as many nights.
Shohei Ohtani leads off and cracks a highliner deep center field. Here it is, gone. It just takes Ohtani to snap this pitcher's duel.
So both the Angels and the Dodgers shutout victors, right? You didn't give up any runs to the Diamondbacks, did you?
That's right. We did not.
Okay. Now, the Ohtani swing was big because Drew Rasmussen was great on this night. That was the only blemish in a 1-0 Rays loss, so the Dodgers get the dub.
Mm-hmm.
When something like this happens, meaning that Trout and Ohtani both shine on a particular night, how often do you, as an Angels fan, sit there and say, why the hell could we not have won anything with those two?
Oh, Rosie, I have this thought a lot. Although as I get more removed, it goes away a little bit more. Look, I don't know how much you really want me to get into this, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be me pointing the finger at the owner of our team, Artie Moreno, always and forever. The only thing that I will give Artie, even though I don't really want to, is that, when Shohei was in Anaheim, there were a lot of injury issues with those three. With three as in Anthony Rendon. They played 88 games together when they were in Anaheim. Uh-oh. I'm frozen. Okay, we're good. Ooh, that scared me. Sorry. Anyways, they played 88 games together, those three, and they went 44-44. It's my favorite stat of all time.
Oh.
So, I'll give the injury stuff to them, but at the end of the day, Artie Moreno does not operate a baseball team in modern times. He took over the team in 2003, ran the farm system dry, and has really just signed big names in hopes of getting butts in seats, and that's about it. So, of course, I wish that we could have done more while Shohei was here, but it takes more than, two people on a baseball team to do anything super significant, in my opinion. We don't address all of the other big needs that we have. And like I said, Artie runs a baseball team in not a modern way. He wants to stick his hands in all the pots and be involved, but he's like not a baseball guy, and he just wants people in seats. And like I said, I could talk about this for so long. But yeah, of course, I wish that they would have won together, but the people in the front office didn't make it happen.
So I do think about it quite frequently, and more than just the Freeway series when they hug out in center field together as they're getting loose. Like I wonder how the game is going to see that era. So I want to hit the fast forward button for somebody who is 4 or 5 years old and just getting into baseball, and they watch Shohei and he's their favorite player. And then in 50 years, they're at the Hall of Fame and they're walking around when both these guys are enshrined in Cooperstown, and they'll notice that the two of them played together.
Right.
And they're going to go, well, I know the name Mike Trout from my childhood, and he was kind of wrapping up his career, and he had gotten his 500th homer, and he was, I was told that he was one of the great, great players early in his career. He was a 3-time MVP, and of course, Shohei was my guy growing up, and that was it. They played together for 6. They must have been great, those two. And then you would go back and look and realize the best they ever did in a season was 80 and 82.
That's right.
And even that year, I think they finished like 23 games back. The closest they ever got to first place was 17 games at the conclusion of a season. That's the thing. It's not that they didn't. It's hard to win. It
For
really
sure.
is. It's hard to make the playoffs. It's easier now, but even when they were starting, it's hard to make the playoffs.
For sure.
But to not even sniff it with those two,
Yeah.
you're talking about an organizational failure beyond belief.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an incredible failure, and that's why all of the blame should be on the front office and Artie Moreno, because you had so much time to make it happen, to beef up the farm system. And it's not like, he just took over this team. He's been there for 23 years now. Like he all he cares about is people sitting in seats. He doesn't care if they win. He just wants to make money, and that's it. So that's why he, the Angels wanted to sign Garrett Cole. They don't get Garrett Cole, so they freak out and they get Anthony Rendon instead, because now they have another big ticket guy that's going to bring people into the stadium. That's all he cares about is getting people in seats, and that's it. He does not care about winning, which is such a shame, because the Angels fan base is, when they're winning, it's a strong fan base. I mean, I've seen it. I've lived it, and it would bring people to the state. Rosie, I'm gonna get upset. I'm gonna try to not get upset. Gonna try to not get upset, but
this is like therapy, Swilly.
A little bit, yeah. And again, it just goes back to Artie Moreno and not allowing his front office to work in a way that is modern, and he wants to be involved. All decisions run through him. And it's, was a revolving door at the GM position for a little bit, and it's a revolving door at the head coaching position. It's just, and if you ask anybody now in that front office, they want to win right now. They want to win. They have no interest in a rebuild, which they should have done however many years ago, but they want to win right now. Make that make sense.
What's unreal is the last 8 years to 10 years of Mike Trout's career, it's going to be, well, why didn't he want to get traded? Like, that's incredible that's going to be the narrative around the back 2/3 of his career, if you will. I will finally say that on this topic, Ohtani and Trout's baseball biorhythms were never specifically aligned, right?
Right.
2019 was the last of Trout's 3 MVPs. That was Ohtani's worst full season.
Right.
Then Ohtani won his first MVP in 2021. Trout played 36 games.
Yep.
Ohtani's best year with the Angels, when you combine the hitting and the pitching, was 2022. He finished MVP 2 and Cy Young 4. Trout finished MVP 8, but only played 119 games. He had a rib injury that cost him 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Angels did finish third that year. Way back. They finished third. That was the only year they didn't finish fourth together.
Yeah. I mean, that's, like I said, those 3 in their whole tenure together on the Angels played 88 games together.
Yeah.
88.
Well, look, when you sign a long-term deal with a guy like Anthony Rendon, who was a fantastically talented baseball player,
yeah,
but could have come up with a list of about 500 other things he would like to have done as a profession.
Right.
You knew that it was going to be a rough go. It's never that the Angels didn't Not that they didn't spend money. They have spent money over the last 20 plus years. It's just
Yes.
they haven't spent it wisely. And
Correct.
that's what happened here. I don't know. What is
Right.
I wonder if people are even going to remember Ohtani's 6 years in Anaheim. When it's all said and done, he's going to have so much success in Dodger blue that they're going to be like, oh, he did. And he won MVPs there too.
Yeah, I would assume that you get far enough down the line, and yeah, they probably won't. I mean, obviously he won awards there, so there's that, but I mean, that's about it. So,
Interesting.
yeah.
It's hard to obviously think about the future 30 or 40 years from now,
Right.
but what are people going to have a memory about his time in Anaheim with Mike Trout? Let us know.
Yeah.
Comment section. I'm sorry to have done this. I found it
Mhm.
fascinating that since they both went deep on this day, are you mad at me? It's okay
No,
to be
I'm
mad.
not mad at you. I'm not
Can
mad
be.
at
They get
you.
a lot of people get mad at me. It's fine.
No, I get it. I understand, but I am going to take a second to say that Mike Trout is second in voting right now for the
Yes.
AL All-Star or for the AL All-Star team, which is really exciting. And he
Yeah.
is having a really, really good year. He leads the American League in runs and all that stuff. He's like second and third amongst outfielders and OPS. He's just been really, really good this year.
Yes.
So.
And I would love it to see him start the All-Star game in Philadelphia. I think that would be fantastic.
We need it.
Yeah, and well-deserved because we do have a lot of stars that unfortunately are banged up and are not going to play.
Right.
So you do need
right.
some of those huge names to kind of offset that. And he's one of them, and I hope that everybody continues to stuff the ballot box, even though you all did do it digitally. So there you go.
Okay.
Today's episode of Baseball Today, it is sponsored by Samuel Adams. Yes, this summer, America turns 250, and nobody's more ready to raise a glass than the beer named after the founding father himself, Samuel Adams. From the man who helped spark a revolution to the brand that's been brewing independence since 1984, Sam Adams is leading the celebration all summer long. Crack open a summer ale, that crisp, citrusy wheat ale with a bright lemon finish that tastes like the 4th of July in a glass. Or you can grab the limited edition Star Spangled Variety Pack loaded with summer ale, porch rocker, American Light, and fan favorite blueberry lager. Look for their retro-inspired packaging in a store near you because this isn't just another summer, it's America's 250th. So join the rally. Raise a Sam for the founders, for the flavor, for 250 years of independence. Cheers to 250, America. This Sam's for you. Samuel Adams, the Boston Beer Company, Boston, Massachusetts. SamuelAdams.com. Savor the flavor responsibly. All right. It is time right now for Pack in the Park. This is where we look at players and storylines that are getting fans into the stadium. It is brought to you by our friends over at SeatGeek. Now, Kyle Schwarber, if you're a Philly fan, you get to go out there. Let's say you arrive in the top of the first with 1 or 2 outs, and you look on the field and you're like, oh my God, what happened to Bryce Harper? Is he hurt? Kyle Schwarber's playing first base? Yes.
Sure is.
Don Mattingly said, we're going to do this like 8 to 10 times a year. Get him on his feet. Get him out there. Get him mixing it up. He can't just be a DH the whole time. So Schwarber was out there for the first time since the 2021 ALCS when he toted up with the Boston Red Sox. And guess what? He must have liked it.
Farah fanatic. That ball's hit well out toward right field. Hernandez is back. It is gone into the first row. Farah, you leaving me hanging.
25th homer of the season. Yeah, that's Tom McCarthy and Crucky and Ruben Amaro and the rest of the crew. They were all doing the game from the seats. So they were talking to Farah the fanatic.
Of course.
They were talking to some fans. Do you like it when broadcasts go into the seats or no?
I think it's fun. I don't mind it. I don't know about for a full game, but I don't know. I like it when they mix it up. I think it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, they had like 5 of them all sitting there. And the funny thing was at the end of the day, instead of an on-field interview where they throw a headset on them, they had Schwarber walk over behind the plate where they were located. And Schwarber's got a microphone, but he doesn't have headphones on. So he can't really hear them. So he's like going like this up against the netting. He's like, hey, what are you saying? So that part got a little awkward, but there were definitely some cute moments. No question about it. Schwarber, his 9th career 25 homer season. He's going to get to 500, isn't he?
I think he might get to 500, Rosie. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, 365 now? Yeah.
So he's one of these generational sluggers that I think we're going to talk about for this generation, where you're like, oh man, even though that one was like a wall scraper, there's so few of those.
Yeah.
Like he hits some of the prettiest home runs we see in the sport.
He really does.
Yeah.
He really does.
He'll be in the home run derby. I think both he and Harper have to participate, don't they?
Yeah, I mean Schwarber at the very least, but I think you have to get both of them in there.
Yeah. I think that if Harper makes the team, which I think will be a tough chore, but I think he'll get there.
Yeah.
I think if they're both make it, there you go.
I mean, jeez.
It's a thing of beauty.
It is. It is. He is so fun to watch. He's
Yeah.
Yeah. He's so fun to watch.
And a good dude. All right. So congratulations to him. He became just the 4th Phillies player to reach the 25 homer mark within the first 73 games of a Phillies season. He joins Ryan Howard, Jim Thome, Chuck Klein. Pretty good list right there.
Yeah.
As far as the team side of things, the Phillies closed within 7 games of Atlanta in the National League East. Braves had their games suspended. Do you think there's still a chance for the Phils?
I mean, I don't see why there wouldn't be a chance, right? I mean, it's June 17th. And, when I think about a team that I feel like didn't have a chance, I think about your guards last year, Rosie, and that was like 4 to 6 weeks after this particular point in the season. So, and they were like, what, 15 back?
Yeah, 15 and a half at one point.
Yeah, so why not? I certainly think that there's a chance. I mean, both teams have been red hot, obviously. The Phillies have been on fire. They're 14-6 in their last 20. So with that being said, if some other things go right, yeah, I for sure think there's a shot. I assume you think there's a shot too.
Yeah, so I think we either talked about this, Trev and I, at the beginning of this week or late last week, and we're like, God, because it's not like Atlanta's played poorly. It hasn't, but it's just the Phillies, since Don Mattingly took over for Topper, 31-14.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty special for a 45-game run. Yeah. And, they got Zach Wheeler back during that time. And obviously Christopher Sanchez, with the exception of maybe 2 starts this year, has been out of this world good. If Jesus Luzardo could pitch the way he did last night against his former team and take that into the rest of the year, they're going to have to figure something out with Painter, who has just not been good enough. And they have to get Aaron Nola right. He's just too inconsistent for a guy who gets paid top dollar.
Yeah.
I do think that they're going to have a shot. I mean, and offensively, they haven't been great this year. Mm-hmm. So here's the thing. They don't play Atlanta again until September, and then they play them twice, I think, in a 3-game, 3-series area. They go series, then 1 off, and then series again. So if they're within, they probably have to be within 4 games by then.
Yeah.
Sure, it's possible. I think I said 10 days ago it wasn't, but now I'm thinking about it. It's possible. Yeah. I still make the Braves a favorite, though, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the Braves have just been really... I mean, the Phillies have been the hotter team, but I think the Braves have just been a little bit more consistent all year, and they're just still doing all of the right things while also not feeling like they're overperforming. They're not striking out. They're scoring a ton of runs, and their pitching is not giving up any runs. They have the 2nd best runs per game allowed in Major League Baseball this whole season. So, like I said, I think the Phillies certainly have a shot, but I do think that we have to see some things go wrong for the Braves as well, because they've just been so consistent all year. So.
Well, and they've been remarkably consistent while dodging major injuries, right? We've seen what injuries have done to some teams this year, a la the Toronto Blue Jays, who have a real hard time putting together a pitching staff left and right. And the Braves have dealt with it, with Strider coming in and out. So those 3 young pitchers, some of whom are getting closer and closer. And we will certainly, you would imagine we would see all of them at some point in the second half. That will help. And then Acuna being on the injured list twice, Baldwin just coming off and going deep. We'll have more on that in a moment. So I just think that Atlanta has dealt with a lot of crap and still survived, and they haven't been pushed yet. I would like to see Philly get closer, because I do like to see how teams manage going for a division crown and going for a bye as opposed to just being content with making it into the playoffs. Because I do think that there's something to that. So,
yeah, I agree with you. And bringing those vibes into the postseason anyways is always great too.
yeah. So I would love to hear from people on this, whether or not you think this is kind of an open and shut case for the Braves, or I'd love to hear from Braves fans. Like, how comfortable are you with a 7-game lead is still fairly substantial.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But it's only
and
17, so.
I want to remind everybody to please use the code BASEBALL2026, 10% off your next set of tickets. Where? Over at SeatGeek. All right. Seattle. Wearing your Cal Raleigh Big Dumper Jam baseball t-shirt.
There you go.
Go out and get that today, because Cal Raleigh was back for the first time in over a month, and he was all smiles after this big moment.
Soft line drive, center field, and it falls for a hit. Robles scores. Right behind him is Emerson, and he is in there. Wow!
Tie-breaking knock for Cal Raleigh and the Mariners' 3-1 win over the Baltimore Orioles. The big news, though, is that Seattle is going to ditch its 6-man rotation in favor of the return of the piggyback system. But here's the caveat. Instead of it just involving Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo, like we had seen, all 6 starters are going to participate through the All-Star break. Should be about 3 times. And what's going to happen is that everybody is going to get a bite at the apple. So you will have pitched on your regular rest, and then at some point you're going to be either a piggyback starter or piggyback reliever. And once again, all 6 starters agreed to this system.
Right.
Is this a genius move by the Mariners or a train wreck waiting to happen?
I have thoughts. I will say this. Well, first of all, I want to say I'm very happy for Cal Raleigh. You always think about how an injury like affects a player.
Mhm.
Like, you know, he obviously had a really rough start to the year, and then he goes on the IL, and it's like, okay, like, is that really why he wasn't playing well? So for him to do that, I think it's great. Baseball's better when he's playing great baseball. So happy for him. But yeah, this rotation. I hate it. I don't like it. I think that there's a reason why the standard 5-man rotation is put in place. It's because it works. But I will say I think it helps that everybody was on board. And you like to think that that is true, right? I mean, I don't know. You can say anything to the media. I don't know. But I think that if everybody's bought in, that certainly adds something to it. But I don't like it. As somebody that watched a 6-man rotation, this isn't even, you know, the piggyback situation, but a 6-man rotation, it's a little tough, and pitchers are creatures of habit. So yeah, you can say that you're like bought in and excited about it, but then it actually gets to a point where you have to do it. And I'm just very interested to see how it goes. Cause now, like you said, it's not just Luis Castillo and Bryce Miller. It's all 6 of them. So I don't like it, but I mean, maybe I eat my words, and maybe it's exactly, it works. And also that bullpen's a little depleted. So it's like, okay, if somebody goes out there and has a rough start, then what was the whole point, you know?
So, well, here is the point. The Mariners general manager, Justin Hollander, met with the media before Tuesday's game. He gave people some updates on injuries, and then he talked about the fact that they were going to this piggyback system. And here's what he said. He said, each guy will participate for 1 day. So roughly everybody will sacrifice an inning or 2 over the next 30 days. It keeps everybody on normal rest. Part of the reason they're doing this is when you include the off day they just had this past Monday, the Mariners will have 4 off days in 28 days leading up to the All-Star break. That's a pretty substantial number.
Sure.
For people that don't pay attention to that stuff. So it would have had a trickle-down effect where you're pushing each starter, if they had stayed in a 6-man rotation, for instance, to where they're pitching 1 out of every 7 days. And that is, or 8 days even. And that is really, really bizarre for people. So they're trying to keep everybody's workload up while maybe trying to dial back a few innings while trying to figure out how they handle this in the second half. And to me, that's going to be the most interesting. This is fine because you can use the excuse that, hey, we've got these 4 off days and we want to make sure everybody's getting their work in, and everybody starts to tire a little bit toward the end of June and beginning of July, and they're like, get me to the All-Star break. So I'm sure it was a reasonable discussion with a bunch of level-headed starters. Hey, guys, this is what we're doing. This is what we think is best for the next 28 days. And everybody's like, okay. Well, there is an entire second half we got to get through. And how are you going to handle that as long as everybody's healthy? To me, that's the most fascinating part of this.
Yes, I agree. Like, okay, so great. You have this plan, and then you get to All-Star, and then what? And then what? You're going to keep doing the same. Surely you're not going to keep doing the same thing. I mean, you have to make decisions, right?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, having been around teams that go to 6-man rotations, that takes some convincing.
Yeah.
They had to do it last year with the Dodgers, and they did it beautifully. And who knows how much wear and tear it saved them when they got to October.
Sure.
Like when they had the 6-man rotation, who knows if Yamamoto has the ability to go out and pitch out of the bullpen the way that he did during the World Series. I don't know what sort of cause and effect there was with that. But when you did go talk to some of their starters, they're like, yeah, I don't love it.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. So I am curious how they're going to handle all of this, whether it's 6-man, whether it's piggyback, or whether it's a trade, which the minute, and I hate to put this juju in the universe,
Oh, no.
but the minute the Mariners trade one of their starters, somebody's going to go down. You know that's going to happen.
Of course. Of course.
Right?
Of course. And yeah, bad to your point about pitchers not being super stoked on the idea of a 6-man rotation. I remember when we went back to the 5-man rotation after Shohei left, there were a lot of reports that guys were kind of excited to be back in that like 5-man rotation type of routine. They're creatures of habit. So I don't know. I don't love it. And I don't know, which is weird to say this. We expected this rotation to be like, maybe a top 2, and they've been fine.
Yeah, they've been okay.
They've been fine. Like Brian Wu isn't what he was last year. Obviously, Castillo hasn't been very good. So and like I said, the bullpen, like, I don't know. I don't know.
I know that there's some Mariners fans who are also going to write in the comments, hey, it's also the third time through the order thing. Part of that piggybacking situation, which in a perfect world, right? The starter of the piggyback goes 5, and then the back end of the piggyback finishes the last 4 innings, and you win 4-2, and you save your bullpen, which will be without Matt Brash, which is going to stink for them for a while because he's been a very dependable reliever for them. Andres Munoz, the good news is he looked good last night in the 9th inning, has dealt with a little bit of a back issue and has not been his all-star closer self this year. They've got some other injuries out there in the bullpen. So this is another way for them to try and save some arms and save some innings, as you talked about.
Yeah.
I think it's going to work, but my God, every time I think something's going to happen good with Seattle, they just kind of pooter around and keep other teams in contention in that division.
Pooter around.
I know. That's an old man word. I do want to show you my Big Dumper t-shirt.
Yes, let's see it. Yes. There he is. Shout out Sarah Tepper, Big Dumper.
Yeah. That away, Tap, and the entire crew. I'm sure that's still available in our shop.johnboymedia.com once we have a t-shirt out there. I love this one.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I was supposed to interview Cal in spring training for our first Dugout Discussions interview of the year. And we're driving out to Mariners camp, and one of their awesome PR people, Jordan, calls me, and he's like, dude, Cal is sick. I was like, ooh. So he was sick. He missed camp for a couple of days and felt bad. We're going to get that set up at some point, but I was wearing my Big Dumper t-shirt. I was ready to walk in there and be like, yeah.
He would have loved it too.
Because we're like the founding fathers of the Big Dumper Club. He does it on the player side. I do it on the broadcaster side.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh. I'm so sad that you didn't get to interview him. He was a busy man. I also tried at spring training. He was a busy man.
Yeah, but he was. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So let us know how you think this whole thing is going to work out with the piggyback situation. And more importantly, look into your baseball crystal ball, people. What happens to their rotation on the back end of the All-Star break? How are we going to do? I don't know if anybody asked him about that. Ask their GM about that.
Ask
Something to throw out there. All right, today's episode of Baseball Today, it's sponsored by our friends over at Shady Rays. Shady Rays, they're built for real sports fans. No more squinting through the sun to track a fly ball when you already have sunglasses on. Shady Rays polarized lenses lets you track a fly ball, lets you read the scoreboard, lets you see that the ump blew the call in the ninth inning where you can go, you moron. They're lightweight frames. They won't slip whether you're at the ballpark or the golf course or watching the game outside on your patio. And here's the best part. With Shady Rays lost and broken protection, if you lose or you break them, even right after you get them, no worries. Shady Rays replaces them. We're talking no drama, no stress, no replacement guilt. Just a new pair headed your way. From the first pitch to the final out, do not let the sun mess with your game. In fact, we've teamed up with Shady Rays to bring you an exclusive offer. You head on over to shadyrays.com. You use the code BASEBALL50 for 50% off 2 or more polarized sunglasses. I want you to try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. You will be glad that you did. All right. Let's do a little bit of some of these quick hitters for you. The Braves and Giants, I told you earlier that started pouring rain in Atlanta early in that game, so it got suspended. So they will resume that this afternoon. But not even the nasty weather could dampen the return of one Drake Baldwin to the lineup.
Drake Baldwin to straightaway center field. Welcome back, young man.
Heck yeah, Brandon. 473 feet, the longest homer we've seen this season, Swill.
That's right. That's right. The sound off the bat was lovely, by the way.
Yeah, and through the raindrops, you're like, I wonder how far that's going to – and you're like, whoa, that thing went over everything. I think, the Braves have done an amazing job locking up their core.
Yeah.
This is the guy they're going to have to back up the Brinks truck for.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
I think so. Yes, I think so. I mean, obviously his rookie year was great. One rookie of the year, he was so good. And before he got hurt, he was also just cruising.
Yeah.
So I know the Braves are happy to have him back. Of course, goes back to that conversation a little bit about, I almost said A's, Braves versus Phillies. This will certainly help keep the Braves out in front a little bit. But yeah, longest home run of the year so far. Was it Shea or was it Nick Kurtz that had the 471 one the other day? I forget, but he didn't hold that title for very long, obviously.
Yeah. And everybody's going to say, well, those were Vegas helped. This was through the raindrops.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's exactly right. So good for Drake. Happy for him. He's fun to watch. And he feels like such a, I don't want to say a veteran presence. That's very dramatic, but he feels so like stoic. Like, I don't know. I love guys like that. That he's just going to work. He's just in the work. And I don't know. I love guys like that. So
it's impressive for a young kid that's only 25 and in his second full season that he does have an aura around him, a sense of maturity.
Yeah.
The Braves would be smart to lock him up, particularly as I love that Plouffe calls it a cheat code when you have a good hitting catcher. I think it's a great point.
I agree.
We had one of the more fun plays of the season unravel last night in Sacramento between the A's and the Pirates. Spencer Horwitz, who's been great for the Pirates, bases loaded with he makes a great stab and then overthrows Keller, so we get a couple of runs. But here comes Jacob Wilson, who started the play on first base, and he's like, screw it, I'm going to run home. We think he's dead there. Brandon Lau, the tags all over the place. Look, first of all, at the swim move, and then watch Wilson's reaction as they zone in. He's like, and I'm safe? I'm safe. Keep playing it, Dan. Keep playing it. Let's see if we get to that part. Oh, it freezes. Okay. All right. Well, that's all right. The best part was that he said, I'm safe. And he would have been safe anyway because of obstruction on the base paths as he was rounding third base. But were you watching that live or no? Were you already?
I was not watching that live, unfortunately, but I saw it all over Twitter as soon as it happened. So
yeah.
And
you know what? If you're up on the East Coast and you can't sleep, put on an A's game.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't put on an Angel game. Put on an A's game.
Particularly these two teams because their bullpens both stink. And so the game is never over, and that's what happened. The A's gave up a late lead again, and the Pirates ended up getting a Lau homer, and they ended up winning.
Right.
But that was a fun little play at the plate.
Yeah, love that.
All right. And also, I imagine you liked it because his last name's Wilson.
It helps.
Okay. Last thing of the day. Big evening in Houston. Framber Valdez, he returned for the first time in enemy fatigues, pitched well for the Tigers, 1 run in 6 innings. Big night for his counterpart as well, who also returned to the mound in Houston. Hunter Brown, 7 strikeouts as he worked almost 6 innings. It was his first start since the end of March. He's been dealing with a shoulder issue. Now that they've got their stud back on the mound, how confident are you that the Astros can push Seattle atop the American League West?
I mean, the Astros just for so many years, they can just, of course they can do it because it's the Astros. Every single year, they start out a little slow. And I mean, it's been a slow start this year, but every single year they start off slow and everyone's like, oh, this is the year that the Astros aren't going to be good. And then they turn it on. And even though they didn't make the playoffs last year, just in the past however many years, they just can. It's just the Astros. I don't understand that. People always write them off and then they end up being close. I don't know. The Astros are very happy to have him back, though, because their pitching has been brutal this year. So I know that they're very happy to have Hunter Brown back. I know he's an Astro, but I do like him. I think he's a great pitcher. I enjoy watching him pitch when he's not pitching against my favorite team. But yeah, I mean, the AOS is such a mid-division this year that it's certainly anybody's game. So I don't see why not. I do think that they still need to figure out the pitching, though. I don't think one arm is going to solve all their problems.
Well, everybody who watches this show knows I am stubborn, so I'm not going to get off the Mariners train just yet. And I'm also going to make the point that the Astros are closer in the standings to your Angels than they are to the Mariners right now. And you talked about the pitching. Now, they're going to get a huge boost from Brown as long as he is healthy. Top 3 finish last year in the Cy Young. Really a stud that just feels like he is the next big thing down there, which is awesome.
Yeah.
The problem is what happens when you don't give him the ball and have to give it to somebody else. Now, Spencer Arrighetti, I know the recent starts have not been good, but he has been very, very good. Now you have to buckle up for safety because they're actually in the midst of, it sounds like, going to a 6-man rotation coming up because I think they've got games every day for almost 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
And so are you willing to throw out Lambert, Imai, Burrows, Tang, all in a starting role and pray that you can get through it? Because, yes, as good as the offense has been behind Yordan Alvarez, especially.
Yeah.
At some point, you think that Seattle's going to start to put it together. And I don't know if that coincides with the return of Cal Raleigh. I don't know if it coincides with piggyback fanfare. But the Astros, I don't know how much better they can be because of their pitching.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the pitching has just been so bad. And yeah, they have to put a lot of other things together too. It's like I said, you can't rely on one guy in your lineup and one guy in your rotation to make this huge push in the second half. So,
all right. You excited for the All-Star game in Philadelphia?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that it's local this year. The whole crew's going to be there. So
hold on, it's not local. I got to get on a plane and fly 5 hours.
You have to I don't have to get on a plane.
Oh.
So
okay.
That's why it's local. But yeah, it'll be a blast. So excited. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be great. I mean, this will be my second one. Can't believe it's already I don't know. It's going to be great. All-Star's awesome. It was so much fun last year. Get to hang out with you, which is always nice. And,
come on, you don't have to say that. It's okay. I'm pretty far down the list of people that you're excited to hang out with on the. It's okay.
That's not
That's
true.
What my role is. I'm usually tucked in by about 9:00 at night.
Don't put words in my mouth.
It's okay.
It's true.
Fine. I love it. Is my favorite event because it is a time where our community comes together.
Right.
We have a big event. Check out our social media. On Tuesday. I always tell people, if you want to spend your money to go to an event, go to the Home Run Derby on Monday, go get outfield seats. That's where you should spend your dough if you have a little extra income and you're a huge baseball fan, and then come join our party.
Yes.
It's much more pocket friendly and friendly, period, because the game is whatever. The game's the game. We are all watching it together in our watch party. I do a trivia contest, which is a ton of fun. You get to hang out with all the content creators,
Mhm.
which can be kind of interesting. And then you just get to know the rest of our community that
That's right.
you've been interacting with for years. So that's the way I tell people who are John Boy Media fans to enjoy the Midsummer Classic.
Yes, I agree. It's always fun to remember like, oh, all of our content that we make, people actually watch it.
Hmm?
So when you like meet everybody in person, it's like, oh yeah, it's not just numbers, it's actual people. And the people are always awesome. So I'm very, very excited for our watch party.
Yes. Yes. Great point. All right. Swill, I always appreciate you hopping in.
Of
And
course.
this won't be the last time we see. I've seen Plouffe's second half schedule. You'll be getting that text again. Swill, I need help.
Hey, I'm
So,
in. I'm in. Always a pleasure to talk ball with you, Rosie. I mean, yeah, anything for you. So
you're very sweet. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, the uber-talented Swilly, I am Chris Rose. Dalton Feely will be back with us tomorrow. That's when you tune in to Baseball Today, presented to you by T-Mobile.